Start. So the last recording that we did have of antiarrhythmics got corrupted. If you remember the last class, there was some problem with this Zoom, and there's some problem where I wasn't able to record it properly. So I'll just revisit what we were discussing from arrhythmia. Now, whenever we talk about drugs that are used for cardiac arrhythmias, we need to understand first what is arrhythmia. Right? Arrhythmia is the abnormality of rate, rhythm, or site of origin of cardiac impulse, in the sense that there is an abnormal rhythm to your heart. And normally, your heart is supposed to beat in a particular rhythm, lub dub lub dub lub dub. Right? Whenever there is an abnormality in such a rhythm, okay, causing either abnormality in rate or abnormality in normal rhythm from that site of origin, from the site of origin of that cardiac impulse, that will lead to a arrhythmia, cardiac arrhythmia. Now, cardiac arrhythmia can be because of hypoxia. It can be because of electrolyte disturbances. Electrolytes play a very important role in arrhythmia causation. Okay, you will understand why. It can be because of ischemia or trauma or a few drugs, sometimes autonomic influences, some hormones, that all of these can trigger a cardiac arrhythmia. Now, specifically, there are two important types of arrhythmias, two main types of arrhythmias, that is tachyarrhythmia and bradyarrhythmia. All right. Now, before we get into the details of that, you need to understand how uh, conduction occurs in cardiac cells. So there is two ways through which conduction occurs. Now, normally there is your SA node. From SA node, आपका AV node में जाता, AV node से it will go to your bundle of His, right? From bundle of His it will go to branches, and ultimately it will end up in Purkinje fibers. Right, Purkinje fibers is the location near your ventricles where they will finally cause systole of your ventricles, and blood that is coming from your atria through your ventricles will what you call leave your heart, wherein it will either go into your pulmonary artery or it will go into your aorta, and blood is either going to your body or to your lungs. That is the normal conduction pathway in your heart. I hope you already know this. The pacemaker being your SA node, yahan se uh, vertical, the potential goes to AV node, and AV node will pass on the potential to bundle of His, which will send potentials to the branches of the bundle of His, wherein they will individually cause stimulation of Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers ultimately will cause contraction of your ventricles, wherein systole will occur. Now, when we talk about arrhythmias, before talking about arrhythmias, you need to know how action potential actually follows in a cardiac cell and in a normal cell. Okay, so your SA node and AV node are conducting cells, in the sense that, especially your SA node, it is able to generate potential, in the sense that SA node itself is capable of a particular condition called automaticity. Ever heard of automaticity? आप लोगों को फिजियोलॉजी में आया होगा. Automaticity is basically the ability of one cell to generate action potentials itself and propagate them. तो आपके SA node जो है, it is a conducting type of cell. Okay, this fellow, what it will do is, it's an excitatory cell that will create action potentials, and this action potential is sent to different cardiac cells. Right, you have several cardiac cells like this lined around, and these cardiac cells will be able to conduct these potentials, right, wherein they'll either contract or they will relax or whatever that is happening. Now, if we look at the potentials of both of them, I'll show you one second. See, I hope you guys can see this. Now, on the left is the action potential that you see in a what do you call this thing? Hold on one second. You can even use this image so that you understand किधर है. हाँ जी. So if we take a normal pacemaker cell something like SA node versus a cardiac cell, ठीक है, वहां पर electrolytes थे, that is why I was showing this. We'll show that only, it will be easier for you to understand, because I need to explain electrolyte differences as well. So on the left you have a pacemaker cell, on the right you have a cardiac cell. यहाँ पर action potential differences occur होते. How does that follow? Now let's suppose we are talking about left pacemaker cell. Pacemaker cell acts the same way like your neuron in a way. Okay, so generally in a pacemaker cell, the potential that is base potential that is at rest, the potential will be around 60 millivolts. Okay, when there is 60 millivolts and it is starting to produce a action potential, or it is starting to produce a potential electrical impulse, it'll basically it'll start off with sodium channels opening and sodium coming in. Okay, that part where sodium channels open and there is a slight amount of depolarization, okay, from here to here, from 60 millivolts to, if you can see this phase 4 left wale graph mein, you can see phase 4, the line is slightly going up in an incline, right, up to minus 40 millivolts. At that point, what will happen is an action potential is triggered because you are reaching threshold potential. There is enough potential going around in that cell so that an action potential can be triggered. That is minus 40 millivolts. As soon as a certain number of sodium molecules come inside the cell, threshold potential is reached and depolarization occurs of that cell. Depolarization will occur to an extent where what you call the potential inside the cell is reaching all the way up to 10 millivolts, plus 10 millivolts. Okay, so it is going from minus 60 to minus 40. At minus 40 it is reaching threshold, and from minus 40 it is undergoing quick depolarization, and it is going all the way up to 10 millivolts. At 10 millivolts, what will happen is, so during this depolarization phase, before it can shoot even more, calcium channels open and they will rush inside. As calcium channels rush inside, along with them, potassium channels will open, and potassium channels will cause potassium to go outside. So यहाँ पर क्या होता, positive charge, more amount of positive charge will start to leave out. So a lot of potassium leaves out. That is when your action potential will go from depolarization, where it is going up in phase 0, to repolarization, where it is going down in phase 3. ठीक है, that is what is happening in your pacemaker cell. ये समझ में आया, or do you want me to explain it once again? Okay, I'll explain once again, just in case you did not understand or you have a doubt. See, left pair, the graph on the left basically represents the action potential or the potential differences that occur in a pacemaker cell, and the one on the right represents, yeah, the one on the right represents action potentials in a conducting cell or in a cardiac cell. Okay? Cardiac cell will not be able to generate its potential, it can only conduct that potential. Whereas your pacemaker cell is something that can generate potentials. So it will be the initiator. Okay? The one on the left represents the pacemaker cell. यहाँ पर in the pacemaker cell, how action potential generates is that the base potential, that is minus 60 millivolts, is changed to minus 40 millivolts with influx of sodium. So inside the pacemaker cell, initially some amount of sodium will come in. As sodium is coming inside, once threshold potential is reached, minus 40 millivolts reach हुआ, the action potential is triggered. How that is triggered is, as soon as minus 40 millivolts हुआ, potential minus 40 millivolts हुआ cell के अंदर, immediately calcium channels will open and phase 0 will kick in, wherein what you call a lot of calcium channels, calcium ions pour in, what you call the charge will become more positive. See, as you can see, sodium is coming in, it is becoming slightly positive. Minus 60 से minus 40 को जा रहा बोला था, it is moving towards 0. So it is becoming positive. When a lot of calcium channels, ions come in, it will shoot up very quickly to plus 10 millivolts. Now, as soon as this change occurs, what will happen is phase 3 will kick in, wherein potassium channels open and a lot of potassium is lost. So a lot of potassium will move out of the cell. Okay, as potassium is going out of the cell, the the cell will immediately undergo repolarization. From depolarization, it will undergo repolarization, wherein it is quickly becoming, see, polar का मतलब clear difference है. पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव ऐसा है. डीपोलराइजेशन का मतलब यू आर मेकिंग इट क्लोजर टू जीरो, दैट इज व्हेन यू सी द पीक. ठीक है, -60 से जीरो की तरफ जा रहा है एंड इट इज स्लाइटली ओवरशूटिंग ओवर 10. ठीक है, दैट इज डीपोलराइजेशन फेज. रिपोलराइजेशन का मतलब आई एम मेकिंग इट फार अवे अगेन, आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ सेपरेट चार्ज अगेन. ठीक है, रिपोलराइजेशन का मतलब आई एम सेंडिंग दैट पोटेंशियल अगेन टुवर्ड्स नेगेटिव. I'm sending the potential inside the cell again towards negative. That is what happens when potassium ions will move out in phase 3. Okay, that is why there is a dip. As it keeps going down, it will reach all the way up to -60. Then again phase 4 will kick in where sodium channels open and they are coming inside and the whole thing continues again. Okay, that is how action potentials are generated and propagated again and again in a pacemaker cell. समझ में आया? I hope you understood. Now, if we look at a cardiac cell, okay, pacemaker cell is generating the potential. Now someone has to conduct it and move it forward. अब pacemaker cell एक ही रहता, right? There is a small area where SA node is there, but for it to conduct it throughout the heart, you need cardiac cells. Cardiac cells will be the one that will be conducting those action potentials, through which action potential move. In that cardiac cell, the base potential will be -90 millivolts. Now look at the graph which is present on the right. Okay, base potential is -90, whereas base potential in pacemaker cell is -60 millivolts. मतलब this is more negative. यहाँ पर क्या होता है, initially it will start off with potassium leaving. That is phase 4 of cardiac cell. So potassium ions will be lost, and as potassium ions are being lost, this is a what do you call involuntary process, in the sense that that channel will always be open irrespective of the charge. Potassium channels in a cardiac cell will always be open, and slowly a few number of potassium will keep on leaving that cell. Okay, they will always be in an open state and a few potassium ions will keep on leaving. That is why the potential is maintained at -90. Okay, at one point of time when it is getting an action potential from pacemaker cell, when this cardiac cell gets a potential from a pacemaker cell, immediately sodium will rush in, and a lot of sodium will rush in at that point. So there is a sharp increase in potential. So from -90 it will go all the way up to 40 प्लस 130 millivolts का चेंज हो रहा immediately, -90 से +40. Okay, so if you calculate 90 to 0 and 0 to 40, there is 130 millivolts का change. There is a sharp increase. That is phase 0 of a cardiac cell. Okay, I hope you guys are following along. Please feel free to stop me at any time if you're not understanding. Now, after the sharp increase, what will happen is there will be a slight dip. That slight dip is phase 1, wherein a few potassium ions will move out. When a few potassium ions move out, the potential in that cell will slightly decrease. So -40 से थोड़ा कम हो जाता. But as soon as a few potassium ions move out, calcium ions will start moving inside. Okay, that is phase 2. Because of this calcium moving in, there will be a slight balance maintained. Okay, as potassium is moving out, calcium is moving in, there is a balance maintained, wherein there is a small plateau like phase. That phase is phase 2. Eventually what will happen is at one point of time the calcium channels will close, and as calcium channels are closing, potassium is continuously leaking out, meaning the potential inside the cell is becoming more negative. Positive ions is going out, positive ion is not able to come in, positive ion of calcium is not able to come in, but positive ion of your potassium is constantly leaving out, because of which there will be a sudden dip in the potential. That is phase 3, and again you will go into phase 4 where your potential, the potential of your cell will become negative, negative -90. This is how potentials are generated in your cardiac cell. Arrhythmias are occurring in your cardiac cell. So whenever we talk about anti-arrhythmic drugs, they will be concerned with the graph on the right. ठीक है, वो ग्राफ यूज करते हैं, phase 0, phase 1, phase 4 or phase 3. Whenever we refer to that, it will be with the graph on the right rather than the graph on the left. ठीक है, the graph on the left was so that you understand the basic of how pacemaker potential occurs. That is propagated into cardiac cell, and cardiac cell में ऐसा move होता. Okay, I hope you understood this. If you want me to repeat, please let me know. No? Okay. One second. Right. So now coming back to this thing, anti-arrhythmic drugs. See, we were discussing about uh, types of arrhythmias, right? We have tachyarrhythmias and bradyarrhythmias, wherein the pace of the heart is either less than 60 in bradyarrhythmias or more than 100 in tachyarrhythmias. More often than not, anti-arrhythmic drugs are used to treat tachyarrhythmia rather than bradyarrhythmia. The bigger problem will be tachyarrhythmia rather than bradyarrhythmia, more commonly at least. So your classification of antiarrhythmic is based on something called Vaughan Williams classification. So you have uh, Vaughan Williams. Okay, of antiarrhythmics. Now, antiarrhythmics are divided into four classes. They are other drugs as well, but there are four main classes: class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. And in each of them, there might be some subclasses. For example, today we'll discuss class 1. Class 1 antiarrhythmics. All of these class 1 antiarrhythmics are sodium channel blockers. Okay, to various degree and to what do you call various strength or various potential, they will block sodium channel. Effect क्या होता? Now let's suppose we talk about the general mechanism of action of what is happening. Whenever class 1A drug is given, they will block sodium channel and prevent inward movement of sodium. Okay, when there is blockage of inward movement of sodium, basically that sodium channel will not work properly, and it will interfere with depolarization. So membrane potential is maintained here. It is not able to depolarize like this. Agar sodium andar aaya, only then potential will become positive and it will go from minus to plus, right? Sodium agar andar aaya, if sodium is there is influx of sodium, there is positive ion that is coming inside. If positive ion comes inside, obviously the potential inside your cell will shoot up. Okay, we are trying to stop that because arrhythmia is occurring mainly due to improper rhythm और improper impulse being conducted. ठीक है, यहाँ पर there is way too much of uh, let me put it this way, there is way too much of potentials that are coming in, because of which your heart is either beating very fast or it is beating very slow. It can be a lot of action potentials coming in or very few action potentials coming in. Either way it will miss the normal rhythm. ठीक है, and आपका cardiac cycle disrupt हो जाता. That is arrhythmia. यहाँ पर by prolonging or by stopping sodium channels, especially in case of tachyarrhythmia. Now tachyarrhythmia, whenever we are talking, what will happen is, let's suppose normally आपके cardiac cell में it was occurring like this, right? In arrhythmia, what will happen is, or it can also occur like this. ठीक है, basically it is not able to rest. Tachyarrhythmia is a condition in which beats are occurring very fast. ठीक है, arrhythmia is occurring at a very high rate wherein your heart is forced to work very hard, and it is forced to work much more than its capacity. To decrease its overactivity, we are trying to block the amount of sodium that is coming inside. That is one way. Okay, that is class 1 types of antiarrhythmics. So they will basically block sodium from coming inside, and as sodium, so I'll just put it here, mechanism of action, blocks sodium channels and prevents influx of sodium ions. If influx of sodium ion is blocked, the ultimate result will be that they will cause, or they will depress, phase 0 depolarization. Basically depolarization will become slower and prolongs. See, class 1A drug and have another effect. अच्छा, I'll put that in another way. Depresses phase 0 depolarization because of this. Another effect of class 1 drugs is that they will block sodium potassium channels. When they are blocking, the slight blockers, okay, not strong blockers, but slight blockers of potassium channel. But when potassium channel is blocked, a repolarization gets prolonged, basically slowing the whole process down. ठीक है, अगर पोटेशियम बाहर नहीं जा सक रहा या सोडियम अंदर नहीं आ सक रहा, if sodium influx is not able to occur or potassium efflux is not able to occur, in either case the whole process will slow down a little bit, giving your heart a little deviate. ठीक है, because of this what will happen is your cardiac cell will become steady, your cardiac cell will enter a steady state, and because of this specially, whenever sodium channels are blocked, depressing phase 0 depolarization leads to slowing of conduction velocity. So conduction velocity is decreased. Tachyarrhythmia में बड़ा problem वही है, it is working way too fast and way too much. We are trying to slow it down. That is by blocking sodium channels. And ultimately what will happen is, especially when you block potassium channels, the result will be that action potentials become prolonged, so will refractory period. So it will take longer period of time for effective refractory period to come into picture, or for another action potential to be triggered. Okay, that is how it is able to slow your particular heartbeat down. I hope you understood this. Mechanism of action समझ में आया? Main mechanism of action is this fellow. It is blocking sodium ions and preventing sodium influx. It is blocking sodium channels and preventing sodium influx, because of which depresses phase 0 depolarization. Phase 0 depolarization is this. So ये phase 4 था, phase 0, 4, 0. This is one slight dip, maintaining plateau at 2, coming down at 3, and entering again into 4. Right? This was the normal route through which your cardiac cell was performing, or it was contracting. यहाँ पर in arrhythmias what is happening is it is becoming very very quick. So what I am doing is I am either prolonging this, I am making this slower, okay, conduction velocity decreases, or by blocking potassium channels I am decreasing or I am prolonging repolarization. So your heart will stay in this phase for a longer period of time. अगर repolarization prolong हुआ, या you can also put it this way, this fellow will become longer. Basically it will take more time for your heart to beat again. ठीक है, यहाँ पर tachyarrhythmias में problem क्या है, your heart is beating around 100 to 170 beats per minute, which is very very bad for your cardiac muscle. It will tear. ठीक है, यहाँ पर by blocking your sodium channels you are decreasing this down to somewhere around 80 or 90. ठीक है, normalizing it a little bit by decreasing the conduction velocity. That is the mechanism of action through which class 1 antiarrhythmics work. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now coming to, if you want me to repeat, please let me know. Nahi to we'll move on to class 1A drugs. Your class 1 has 3 subclasses, 1A, 1B and 1C. All right. You can put it in the chat as well if you have a doubt. I'll look it over. So coming to the first one, class 1A drugs, these will directly prolong repolarization. Repolarization. Okay. Specifically, you have examples like quinidine, we have procainamide, disopyramide, and morzine. Okay, 4 examples are enough. Now what they do is, especially a prototype drug being quinidine. So we'll discuss quinidine. And this quinidine क्या करता है, obviously it will block sodium channels and it will depress all cardiac properties. So it will not just depress automaticity, wherein new potentials are not being generated in your SA node or in your conducting cells, but it will also decrease excitability, it will depress conduction velocity, it will prolong repolarization. Because of this, membrane will become stable. Okay, it has a membrane stabilizing effect, and propagation of action potential is inhibited. So the effect of quinidine is that depresses automaticity. Automaticity is the property of a conducting cell to generate its own potentials again and again. Automaticity, excitability, conduction velocity, and it will prolong repolarization. Okay. All of this will lead to membrane stabilization, a membrane of that cell, in turn basically stabilizing the cell itself. Okay, and membrane stabilization and inhibition of propagation of action potential. So action potentials will not be able to propagate anymore, causing slowness of your heartbeat. Okay? From tachyarrhythmias, it will come back to normal. Now, quinidine has other effects as well. It will not just affect your heart, but quinidine has a vagolytic effect in the sense that it will act as an anti-muscarinic effect. In the sense, anticholinergic as act karta. Quinidine has anti-muscarinic effects. So it will directly act as anticholinergic. Also, it has alpha blocking effects, alpha receptor blocking properties. So it will also affect your adrenergic systems a little bit. It is also a skeletal muscle relaxant. The problem with quinidine is that it is not well tolerated. It has a lot of adverse effects. Okay, and sometimes what happens is once you're using quinidine in a particular patient, you might have to stop it midway. In the sense that when we talk about adverse effects of quinidine, uh, quinidine itself has what do you call potential, or it has the ability to cause arrhythmias. So when a patient is on quinidine, there is a chance that they will develop new types of arrhythmias. What it does is this fellow can cause cardiac arrhythmias, it can cause heart block, it can cause, one second, ADE, it can cause arrhythmias. See, one thing you need to know about antiarrhythmics is that most antiarrhythmics themselves can cause another type of arrhythmia. मतलब अगर tachyarrhythmia को treat कर रहे हैं आप, तो it can cause bradyarrhythmia, और bradyarrhythmia को treat कर रहे हैं तो tachyarrhythmia. It can push it out of rhythm in a different way. ठीक है? So you have to be very careful with such drugs. It can cause arrhythmias, it can cause heart block, it can cause hypotension, it can prolong QT interval. Have you guys been taught ECG इससे पहले कभी? How to read ECG and how to interpret ECG?
No, sir.
नहीं पढ़ा है? Okay, remind me once, एक बार पढ़ाएंगे आप लोगों को कैसा है, because you need to understand how ECG works for you to understand what is prolongation of QT interval. ठीक है, all of this are big problems associated with quinidine, because of which what will happen is, once let's suppose you start giving quinidine to a patient, you might have to stop it midway if any of these conditions are occurring in the patient. All right, one second guys. All right, now other than this, your quinidine can also cause some non-cardiac effects like thrombocytopenia. What is thrombocytopenia? It can cause
Decreased level of platelets.
decreased platelets or increased platelets. क्या है? Whoever answered, I didn't see who answered. I think it was Yajik. What is thrombocytopenia? It's a question to all of you. Should be
Sir,
confident by
it's
this time.
lower platelets.
Lower platelets, good. When we you see thrombocytopenia, in what condition generally? There is one particular infection, no, that comes with mosquitoes. Very rampant in Hyderabad during the months of
Dengue.
June, July.
Sir,
Actually, all
dengue.
dengue, exactly. So, other than thrombocytopenia, it can also cause diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and hypersensitivity. Along with this, quinidine has several drug interactions in the sense that it is itself a microsomal inhibitor, microsomal enzyme inhibitor, meaning it will affect other drugs which are dependent on microsomal enzymes. So, it is a microsomal enzyme inhibitor. Okay, it will affect both codeine and propofenone. Propofenone itself is a type of antiarrhythmic. It is a class 1C antiarrhythmic. It will decrease the amount of, it will increase the plasma concentration of propofenone, and it will decrease the conversion of codeine to morphine, thereby decreasing analgesic activity. If you are giving, let's suppose, quinidine and propofenone, you will have propofenone toxicity. Or if you are giving quinidine and codeine is a what do you call, opioid analgesic. We've gone over opioid analgesics already. Codeine is a what do you call, product that will get converted into morphine in your body. That conversion will be stopped by, or that conversion will not occur properly because of quinidine. If you give quinidine along with codeine, the analgesic effect will decrease. Other than that, if you are using phenytoin or phenobarbital along with quinidine, it will enhance quinidine metabolism, meaning it will get out of your body quickly. So other microsomal inducers like phenytoin and phenobarbital, what they do is they will enhance quinidine metabolism. Agar metabolism of quinidine increases, its plasma concentration will not be constant for it to give its therapeutic effect, leading to therapeutic failure. You will not get the desired effect. So do not give it with other microsomal inducers or any other drug that has a effect on your microsomal enzymes. Also, quinidine can decrease the clearance of digoxin, leading to digoxin toxicity. And it will add to myocardial depressant effects of beta blockers like atenolol, metoprolol, and all of that. You can also see that if you are giving verapamil or potassium blockers with quinidine, it will cause myocardial depression. Okay, hypertension can occur. It can cause bradycardia and all of that. It can also lead to cardiac arrest sometimes. So there are, as you can see, several problems with quinidine. And even if you are giving with quinidine to a patient, be very careful and monitor the patient for a long period of time. Now, normally the uses of quinidine will be for all types of arrhythmias. You can use them for tachyarrhythmias or you can use them for bradyarrhythmias, mostly tachy. It can be used in atrial fibrillation. It can be used in atrial flutter, especially for maintenance of sinus rhythm. You can also use it for ventricular arrhythmia sometimes. Okay. uh, though the problem is that quinidine and both procainamide, they are not preferred nowadays. You have better antiarrhythmics, and they have several side effects. Okay, there are way too many cons to it than pros. But quinidine can be used in malaria. Quinidine is used as a replacement of quinine in case of malaria. So that is about quinidine. We'll discuss about class 1B drugs tomorrow. We have like 5 minutes left.